versus Johnny, as perhaps could have been anticipated. We're probably going to see a lot of intense corner pressure going into this. So tell me, what do you know about these two players? Like, how do you think they stack up in the grand scheme?
So Kenji is probably the strongest guy we have right here. He's just like an OG player.
Yeah. Well, they're both OG players to my knowledge. Like,
yeah, it's true.
They're both coming. I believe 4-5 Kenji mentioned coming from Accent Core.
Yeah, both of them definitely played in all throughout XX. So 4-5, he plays his Johnny a lot like the XX style, and so he hasn't completely transitioned onto all the new XRD stuff. Whereas Kenji is just like very solid in general. His Bedman is thoroughly developed.
Yeah, I can certainly see that. One thing that like you really see Kenji go for a lot are these deceptive block strings, like where it feels like you ought to be able to press a button to punish them on wake up, but you're just not able to because like either he's got a reset like in the works, or he's got some other button that he can press to make what you think is safe actually unsafe. And we're seeing that here because Johnny's getting opened up for sure. Now Kenji's got him in the corner, and that was an interesting. I wonder why he turned him around there, but one way or another, he got a second grab out of it.
Yeah, that was probably some kind of bait on the super or some sort of reversal there.
I believe it.
Yeah, in these kinds of matchups where both characters don't have any extra like wake up reversal options, the momentum shift is just like so heavy. Just like whoever's currently active has so much momentum.
Wow! Just off of like one hit, able to take over 50%, and the corner carry. Like that's really critical. Bedman is looking so clean from Kenji, but you know we've seen 4-5 mount his own pretty impressive corner pressure. We'll see if he can do that here.
Smashed out.
And
slow.
Yeah. This is not looking great, and does get opened up off of the projectile.
Got caught doing something.
Yeah, and that's always it. You know, it happens so quickly, and the windows where you actually can act are so tight that I can never tell what it is that they're caught doing.
Absolutely.
But it, you know, like I don't know. It may even be as simple as he blocks low whenever it should have been high block. But you know, something or other, like Kenji's or KB's always baiting you to do something that he wants you to do that you don't know that he wants you to do.
Yeah, especially in the corner, he can just afford to sit there and just like confirm what you did. It doesn't have to like take a huge risk once you're cornered.
A little more neutral focused game 2 in this set.
Tech buttons. Eats the overhead.
Yeah.
Block on the crossover.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we're seeing more resistance certainly coming in, but I mean, it's really tough because whenever you try to mount that that offensive, if you like, you know, you see tiny whiffs, like tiny mistakes in spacing, and KB just capitalizing on those utterly. It's really oppressive, and it's got to be really frustrating to play against, you know, because you feel like I ought to be able to hit him for doing that.
Yeah, I would say in neutral you have to be very active about making sure there's not too many sigils left on the screen.
For sure. You've got to, I mean, one thing that I think is really, really good in this matchup is playing sort of rushdown heavy, making sure that he can't get to that sort of mid to long range spacing that he likes to set up those sigils. But, you know, doing that, of course, he's got a lot of ways to counter your approaches.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got a gigantic 6P.
He's very scary to sort of get up close with, or to try to get. Once you're up close with him, it's not so bad because you know his options at super close range without setups are not the greatest in the game. But you know if you do let him get those setups, it's going to be a huge headache.
Yeah, another sort of like matchup knowledge test versus Bedman is successfully baiting the wake up dash because it can parry your attempts at mediating him.
Looks like, I mean, 4-5 is he's doing what he's doing what he should, right? He's trying to keep Kenji in the corner, but like every time he pushes him there, it's like he makes one little error that KB is just able to totally capitalize on and completely reverse the situation. You know, for the first part of that game, it looked very Johnny advantaged because he was able to push him into the corner pretty well. But then, you know, one error, one false opening, KB is able to turn it all the way around.
Yeah, one of the challenges that 4-5 faces in his style of Johnny is that he has a hard time finding the knockdown sometimes. Typically he offsets that by just like chilling and trying to challenge your tech. But of course that's definitely not as good as getting a knockdown.
Oh, absolutely not. And you know, like I think one of the most important concepts in this game is the wake up game, the Okizeme. Like we see, you know, KB gets so much off of just pressuring options on wake up. Like to the extent where you'll see like literally entire games that are purely the wake up game. He's able to keep you in that state for so long and do so much damage in it. It's like he's never at a risk of dropping the round. 4-5, not at a huge deficit here, but is certainly going to be hard pressed to take this round. And that will do it for the first round. First round going to Kenji.
One round left.
Yeah, just sort of, you know, like sort of a down back situation there, like very defensive, and then like just a button connects. Some matches go like that. Bedman, you know, he doesn't outrange Johnny necessarily, but he can hit you from further away than you think he ought to be able to.
Nice challenge on the tech there. Can you find the knockdown? Yes, no 2-hit. Very nice.
And that will be. This is.
That was very awkward, Oki. Did not
Yeah.
get anything off that.
No kidding.
Okay, now it's Kenji's turn. That's not good.
Yeah, and you never want it to be Kenji's turn. It's like, was that a fuzzy? Like a fuzzy guard sort of situation with
the multi-hit buzzsaw move is an overhead.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, but he threw the orb there. I was wondering if that was like a low to make you sort of.
Oh, yeah, gotcha. Good blocks.
Yeah, this is,
but can you escape?
I mean, no, he's got to turn it around somehow, but not yet because, oh boy, and yeah, at this point he'd just be burning meter on FD to keep from dying to chip.
Well, I gotta go play. I couldn't stay too long.
All right. Well, it was a pleasure having you on the commentary.